Welcome to the England Coast Path, where I'm going to be walking in this video from Dartford Bridge all the way to Tower Bridge, which is actually past where the England Coast Path is, because it ends in Woolwich and then the Thames path continues. But I always thought, why not walk from one bridge to another, because there's no bridges in between. It's about a 10-hour walk. I'm starting just past sunrise at 9 AM on a Sunday morning, and I'm attempting to reach Tower Bridge by about 7 o'clock, 7 PM. It should be a beautiful day for this walk, so yeah, let's get going. I must admit, this is my second attempt, as the one time before, just after the first lockdown, when the lockdown was eased, I wanted to do this. It's 15 minutes after sunrise. This walk will take about 9 hours. So it's like a personal El Camino in a day. Not really, but you know what I mean. Got beautiful weather. Let's do this. And round about near the bridge, I developed a massive stomach bug where just I needed to postpone it, abort the mission and reschedule, and kind of since then I haven't had a chance to do it. So today is the day we attempt it, and I'm kind of convinced that it will happen. So today what I came across seems to be a fishing competition. Yeah, round about here I think is where my stomach started being really odd last time, and that's where I had to abort it. You may be wondering, why am I doing this? Because you can take the train, it's an hour and you're in Tower Bridge. I can drive literally from my place and be in Tower Bridge in probably 45 minutes. The main reason is that during lockdown I watched a few too many hiking, walking films, like some of these ones that you can see. And well, during lockdown, anything that related to travel was inspirational, that I want to do a couple of these long walks. And walking from Tower Bridge to the next bridge was always the plan, but I think the better idea is to walk towards something that's the culmination, the inspiration behind the walk. The Queen Elizabeth II Bridge, Dartford Bridge, as it appears in front of us, is a spectacular bridge. It's a feast of engineering. But out of the two, really, yeah, Tower Bridge is definitely one that inspires me more, and I shoot more time lapses of it. So I think going from Dartford Bridge to Tower Bridge would be the sense of culmination, getting closer to it, entering London. Hence, I did not decide to do it from Tower Bridge to Dartford Bridge, but the other way around, from here to there, and then take a train back home. It is quite something. To be honest, this is where our journey kind of officially starts, from the QE2 bridge. Now that we just passed the water sewage treatment works, we're continuing along the path next to beautiful marshes and still by the Thames side. And if you're wondering, what did I take on this rather long walk? One body, two lenses, only two lenses, the 20mm and the 50mm, and most of the time I reckon I'll just be walking with my 50mm, the 51.8S. Absolutely love that lens. It's tack sharp, sharp as a razor. One tripod, the Peak Design, somewhat lightweight tripod. I took a thermos filled with tea. When the tea finishes, I'll refill it somewhere with water. And as you've noticed, most of the vlog will just be filmed on my iPhone 11 Pro, because I like the stability of the 0.5 wide angle lens and the ease of use. And I'm not using any microphone, so it's just the audio recorded on the phone, and the photos that will be taken on the Z6 II. A couple of snacks, a couple of sandwiches, bog roll, yeah, just in case, tissues, packed also a lot of positive energy, because it is probably 9-10 hour walk. I'm probably gonna do about 22-23 miles, which is probably gonna be something like 30 or 35,000 steps. Yeah, it's a bit of a challenge. Don't know if I will get to do it, but I'll try my best to actually reach Tower Bridge. Yeah, that's it. It's quite sad to see how much rubbish there still is that the Thames leaves on the shores. People throwing rubbish into the river. It's just disgraceful. And now we are approaching the biggest hurdle of the path. The most annoying thing about the path. Something that the, I don't know, National Trail or whoever actually signposted this path should do something about, because it deserves a rant. Now here at the Dartford Creek, the barrier, the small barrier, there's no crossing across the Dartford Darrant River. So what you have to do is about an hour and a half detour, almost all the way to Dartford there and in between Dartford and Erith, and come back to just literally be on the other side of the river. Hour and a half most likely it's going to take me. But if you want to walk on the river path, this shouldn't be there. There should be some sort of a small footbridge organized, you know, like if Westminster can put up a £6 million mount and then dismantle it, so should the local council or Kent Tourism Board install a footbridge around here. That's what I'm thinking. So now let's start the hour and a half detour just to get to the other side of the river. It's 10 past 10 and I'm gonna try to do a swift, you know, walk. I don't know the speed of my walk actually, but I probably walk just a little bit faster than the average walking speed of 5 kilometers an hour. So let's actually find out how long it will take me to get to the other side of the barrier. And that's where probably I'm gonna take a first break, have some tea, have a sandwich. This is bloody ridiculous. What a bunch of Borises do that. Don't get me wrong, it's a really nice path here along the River Darrant, through all the marshlands that are here. It's just when you're trying to go along the coast path, it's just a long detour that shouldn't be there, in my personal opinion. This path goes all the way here, then to where the motorway is, and we're coming back along this river to this corner, and then from this corner we're going all the way to where that warehouse is, and then just to cross to the other side of the river, and then we're going to be back on the other side of the river here all the way to the barrier. I mean, it's a pretty frustrating part of the walk, and once we get to the other side of the barrier, I do hope that the rest will be quite a pleasure. We have reached halfway of the annoying part of the walk. We're right on the A road. We have to cross the bridge on this road and then continue along the path. This is definitely the worst part of this path. And it smells badly too. Ugh. Yeah, definitely the ugliest, dirtiest, trashiest part of the path. They should do something about it. I've reached the corner confluence of the two rivers. Now we're walking towards the part of the town of this walk between Dartford and Erith. On this corner there seems to be a nice dirt track for quads and motorbikes. Seems like a designated area for that kind of activity. This is the first part of the walk that doesn't seem to be signposted, so I don't know if to go left or right. The yellow public footpath suggested to continue going that way. However, I've taken the shortcut. If there is a path that will somehow get me along this river, somewhere to where I can cross the river, I'll take that. It stinks here. I guess it's something to do with the rubbish trucks that are parked in here. This must be a sort of recycling facility, lots of seagulls. Yeah, and the smell. Oh, this part of the path is getting worse and worse. The bridge. I hope we can somehow get up it. It was a train bridge, so no. Seems like we're continuing along this river until we can find a crossing. I think I can see a crossing, finally. At least there was a sign, and no, we have not crossed the river. We have to go around the industrial estates before we can get onto the other side of the river, behind them somehow, I think. Another lovely part of the Thames coastal path. An absolute delight. We're on the right path. Yes, gorgeous. This really deserved the slow-mo. And we are out. Like the Great Escape that seems to be permanently stuck, so is this element of the Thames coast path. Back at the confluence of River Dartford and River Quay, finally on the third side of this confluence, and now from here I think we got a straight run towards the barrier. Okay, I must admit, this last part of this detour was nice and quiet. It's a nice pleasure actually walking along this part of the river towards the barrier. It's a lovely day. The complaining stops when I reach the barrier and continue along the walk, because I've just been seeing too often the QE2 bridge and walked towards QE2 bridge, which is counterintuitive, knowing that I'm walking from the bridge to Tower Bridge, and a lot of this path was just like meandering and then at some point aiming back at the QE2 bridge, which felt really annoying when you've been walking for 4 hours now. And the last 2 hours, almost 1 hour and 35 minutes, we've literally made no progress as it feels. But now, very close. The barrier is just right there. We're gonna start making progress. We are through. So this is now where the River Dartford, because when the River Quay joins River Dartford, apparently it becomes River Dartford, is at the confluence with the River Thames. And now we have reached the River Thames, and it's a beautiful site right next to this fantastic scrapyard. But I hope that these industrial estates will eventually finish. This looks like a good place for a break. Tea and a sandwich. I love how the river bends in here. The river is beautifully still. I got a log to sit on. This is a time for a break. I just realised that this is the first place along this path that I can see the London skyline very faintly, right off where Belvedere, which is kind of on a hill, slopes down. I can see it in that corner. I'll try to zoom in on the photo that I taken with the 50mm, but it's not gonna be super detailed, but you can see it from here. End of break, got a lot of ground to cover. Let's go. And I completely forgot to mention that from Erith, so the path that we've been walking for quite a while now, is where the London Loop starts in a clockwise direction. It kind of starts at 3 o'clock in Erith, goes all around, sort of not M25, but a little bit inside M25. Unfortunately, this part in Erith also goes through a main road, Manor Road, actually what it's called, through an industrial estate, until we can get back onto the river. But I really hope that from there you actually get to walk on the riverside all the time. Yeah, 4 hours in, I'm starting to feel my legs a bit. Not even a third of the trip. No, it's probably a third. With that detour, it's a third, definitely. And I think from here, finally from here, is where the nice part of the Thames path is going to be. Ah, we've reached Erith. Due to the new Erith Pier Square being built, we have to walk a little bit around, but not that much. Not as much as next to the barrier. We are back on the Thames path. Just left the Erith Pier, which is a really nice pier just to visit the pier. The view from the end of the pier towards Dartford Bridge is really nice. I've been there a few times. But time is of the essence, and we're only in Erith, so we've got a long way to go, so let's just crack on. Energy levels dipping a bit, I must say. And I'm even feeling like a tiny little blister possibly developing on one of my foot. Maybe not. I hope it's not that. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Worth mentioning. 21,000 steps in so far. Just had a small chocolate bar as a snack just to top up the energy, and we're carrying on through this cement asphalt, Conway's asphalt factory. But at least the path doesn't go around it, but actually goes underneath these conveyor belts, so that's pretty cool. That's a cool little bridge, I like it. Quite steep going up actually. But yeah, pretty cool. Nice view in here too. And we have made it almost to the Crossness sewage treatment works, which is a stunning set of two buildings in the shape of a wave. Yeah, the work is going well. My foot is still somewhat coping. It's 1:30. Probably by 1:30 I would have hoped to be a bit further. Here it is, the wave. It's a really funky looking building until you know that it's a sewage treatment site. Absolutely a magnificent building, this one. From both sides, it just looks so cool. I think this one is the wave. I don't know what's the other one called. I reckon this one's the newer one. Stunning. Oh, next to the digesters. Oh my, this smells worse than any public toilet I've ever been in. But I'm gonna collapse, and it's not because of the amount of steps I've done so far. It's because of this. Stinks in here, but we're walking next to a sewage treatment station, so what do you expect? Oh, sulphur now, honestly. Whoa, strong. And here, further along, are the old listed pumping stations. I think this is the one that's really beautiful inside. I'm guessing they're decommissioned, most likely, but they're just, yeah, great listed buildings, very pretty, and yeah, cannot be demolished. I wonder what will happen with them. They will probably become some sort of a museum at some point. There you go, that was the answer. It is an industrial museum. I know they open at like open house weekends and stuff, but I don't know if it's open throughout the year. Yeah, I'd love to visit one day. Another famous walk, the Ridgeway, is a big long walk going from, as far as I know, North London through South London. Another idea that I would love to do one day. I can't do all these walks. I would love to do the London Loop one day in sections, obviously. And we are now entering Thamesmead. And I gotta say, knowing this is about halfway, it is an achievement. It is definitely a major point on this walk that I've made it this far. 27,500 steps so far at the tip of the kind of peninsula. The river now from here I can see starts bending left, and I start seeing the London skyline. This is the spot. The skyline from here is absolutely fantastic. I've actually shot quite a lot of times from here. I shot some beautiful sunsets sitting across the city. I think it was sitting across Canary Wharf. I love this place because it's got such a skyline alignment. Canary Wharf on the left and then city skyline on the right, shot in the middle, and yeah, it is just fantastic from here. If you want to visit a nice skyline viewpoint that's low by the river, it's this one. We're taking a break. 5 minutes or so. 29,000 steps in and I'm dying. My legs are just in pain. And this is barely halfway. I don't have any idea how I'm gonna make it all the way to Tower Bridge. What I'm not gonna give up is Woolwich foot tunnel, where the coast path finishes and then Thames path continues to Tower Bridge. But at Woolwich I will reevaluate how I feel, how the blister is. Yeah, it's been definitely a bigger challenge than I thought it would be. 30,000 steps I rarely get to do, and it's just a blister that's causing me a little bit of a pain so far. 2:30, okay, time to go. I guess by sunset I might make it to the O2, or at least somewhere past Charlton, I hope, if we can make it that far. Fascinating stuff. 7 miles to Greenwich. Seems like a long way still. We're going. I can almost see the Woolwich crossing, which means I'm almost at the end of the English coast path, because after Woolwich, as I've explained earlier, is the Thames path that leads to Tower Bridge and beyond, obviously quite far away. But my goal is to reach Tower Bridge. We're now passing by Galleon's Reach, and normally I wouldn't miss an opportunity to visit the little hill, the artificial hill that's behind these buildings, that has a fantastic vista of the skyline. However, yeah, the clue's in the name of it. A hill. You're kidding me? A hill right now? No. We're continuing along the path. We've made it to Woolwich Arsenal. That was just a pier where the river cruises stop, and it's not that far to go to Woolwich Foot Tunnel. Woolwich Riverside has now got a nice little square, and I really like these buildings because I think that some of the cladding that they've got, I think it would reflect fantastically during sunrise. I wish I could jump into a swimming pool right now and go down this slide. My legs are dying. Guys, behind me is the Woolwich foot tunnel. We have made it. We have pretty much went through the whole England coast path from the QE2 bridge to Woolwich. And from here on, it's the Thames path that I will be going for at least as much as I can towards Tower Bridge. So I will continue. I think from here it's like 3 hours, 3.5 hours. I'm in a little bit of a pain, I'm not gonna deny. I'm 2/3 of the way in and it would be silly to just not finish it. So I'm gonna try and keep going. Another detour because of this skyscraper being built. It's a cool looking tower, probably will have fantastic views, but more detours now is not something I'm taking lightly. That's a cool looking pond. I'm sure it was some sort of a dockyard where something of a shape of a ship, possibly, was docking. I think the lack of energy is causing me a little bit of a dizziness and aching legs, but I don't know. I'm too close to just give it up at this time. So carrying on. The view in here through the Thames barrier towards Canary Wharf, spectacular. How have I never shot a time lapse here? I need to come to this area more often. Maybe around when there's gonna be the sun setting actually over Canary Wharf from there. Because there's like nice gaps in between buildings and the sun would like go in and out, go in and out. So definitely coming back here to do that one day. Guess this is why this area is called Woolwich Arsenal. As far as staircases go, this one's pretty cool. Here's a good analogy. This is what my legs feel like. Stunning view from here, isn't it? However, we are now doing another diversion because the Thames path doesn't lead exactly along the Thames next to that abandoned ship that never got repaired or something, as far as I remember. Yeah, something like that. I'm not quite sure, can you walk along the Thames path where the Thames barrier is? Can you walk like underneath it, or is it somewhat blocked? Oh yeah, you can walk through it. I do remember well. So I'm not going completely bonkers out of tiredness just yet. I honestly can't believe I'm so close to Canary Wharf, where this morning when I saw a little bit of a glimpse in the far distance of Canary Wharf from even before Erith, I was like, oh yeah, that's quite far. Will I actually get there? I can't actually believe that I've reached the Greenwich Peninsula. I love this walk anyway, so it just gives me more energy while walking here. And from here, reaching the O2 soon, it almost feels like the goal is actually in sight, where I doubted it for quite a few times along the way. And even my prognosis of reaching the O2 round about sunset came to be. We're at the O2, and because I know this stretch all the way to Tower Bridge quite well, it just doesn't feel as if it's that far. So more and more from here, it kind of feels like we're gonna do it. We're gonna get there. The sky is absolutely blowing up pink, so I think I'm gonna change the lens from the 50 now to just the 20 and keep the 20 all the way till the end. Oh my, this is not a bad place to time-lapse actually. Grab a sandwich, relax for 15 minutes before that last 2 hours walk. Wow, the sky has just totally blown up. Put the 20mm, set up a little time lapse, 2-second interval, see what I can get, but the sky has gone crazy. I think it's appreciative of my efforts that I'm doing today, so it's like this little reward that I get to keep me going for the next 2 hours until I reach my goal. Yes, that's what I believe this is for. The temperature has dropped a lot since finishing that time lapse, but we keep going. We are almost at Greenwich. Well, quite a bit to Greenwich, but I need to get some water bottle in Greenwich. I know there's a Marks and Spencer there. Hopefully it's still open. I'm by the Cutty Sark in Greenwich, by the Greenwich Foot Tunnel. I can't believe it. I need to get a drink from a shop, hope it's open, and then it's only kind of through Dartford and Rotherhithe, and then the final straight with Dartford Bridge in view. Can't believe it, I made it this far, but at the same time, Jesus, my legs are absolutely hurting. They're literally in pain. So something that I've noticed now in the video, and you probably noticed it too, is that from around Woolwich time, it's a survival video. It's no longer, I'll show you some nice B-roll where I am and what can you see. It is literally a survival video. And now this last stretch from Greenwich to Dartford Bridge, it is just an absolute survival. I'm in pain, my feet are absolutely on fire. I can feel the blisters. I don't think any burst just yet, but yeah, at 47,000 steps, it is a tough last stretch. And from here at the Chinese Cultural Centre, there's a massive detour diversion around Convoy's Wharf that's currently being still well developed, I guess, into residential properties, and there's no footpath, so there's a big loop you have to go to join back Rotherhithe next to that tall skyscraper. Managed to survive the diversion, and now I'm dying. Honestly, how slow I can walk is ridiculous. I got to Surrey Docks Farm, and that element of the Thames path is closed at night time. So I'm having to go back and doing possibly another massive detour. Hate that word by now. I have made it to Rotherhithe, past the Hilton, here in the riverside, and on this path, right at the end of it, where the river bends, I think I'm gonna get the first sight of Dartford Bridge, and I believe that I might shed a tear, but when I finally will get to Dartford Bridge, I reckon I will just full-blown cry. I can see it. I can see the top golden crown of Dartford Bridge just there above the buildings. Wow. It is, oh, what a moment. I can see the London Eye. Dartford Bridge is still currently behind the Wapping Bend, but it's close. It's getting close. It's there. I can see it. It's so close. It's there. Oh my god, I can't believe this. Can't believe this. Probably another half an hour to go. You know what? I've shot the Dartford Bridge time lapse, you know, hundreds, probably 1,000 times, and you get just used to it, seeing it. You just don't think any different of it. But today, I have never have I ever felt so much joy by seeing the full Dartford Bridge. Like an overwhelming joy. Grin on my face from ear to ear, even though there's still another half an hour walk to do. I'm so happy right now. did it! And that's it. Thanks for watching the video. Thanks for believing in me. I didn't believe in myself for a while, but I made it. Never mind the police. I've done it. I'm not redoing this take again. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, comment, and don't try to attempt this kind of a thing if you don't have hiking experience, as I don't, and I shouldn't have attempted it. Finishing the video now. Thanks for watching. See you later, guys. Bye.